y'all may be seated. Hope I didn't get here too early. Can you hear me? Hope everybody's doing fine. We got some visitors. Okay, any Christians? Anyone Christian? No Christian? Well, you've asked this to make sure I get a feel for who's here so I won't slight no one, leave you out. I want to thank the minister and those of you all that knew about this that invited me. I want to thank you for inviting me. The ones that did show up, I'm glad that you're here. Most of the audience that we have from this meeting will be on tape. They purchased the tape. And usually I get calls, or we get calls back saying how good the tapes are. Can you hear? Any better? All right. Better now? We conduct our meetings where you all have an opportunity to ask me questions. Don't make no difference what type of questions that you have. I will attempt to answer them for you because it's very important that when you leave from here, that you leave with more than what you came with. This will help you to understand the time and what you must do. You know, the ones that are already with me, we're doing what we're supposed to do. And it appears as though this is a well-kept secret. This is the first time I've been in this area in the way of holding any type of meeting or conversations with anybody here. However, I'm quite sure we have quite a few black people here in this metropolitan area. So we're going to have a meeting tomorrow, so if you like what you hear today, invite somebody. And this is like getting started. When I first got started, we used to have 2 meetings. Every time I went out, we'd have one day and another the next day. I haven't done that in so long now, I can't remember what I did. So it looks like we're starting all over again. However, I thought I would speak. Usually I think, you know, what would I speak on because I've spoken so much. And the ones that usually come to hear me, they've heard it over and over and over. It's not the same thing, it's the same principle. And I would like to put it in such a way where you're still interested. But this particular time, those that have not heard me, I think I would speak on proof of truth. You know, people can tell you the truth, but if you have no way to prove it, it really don't mean that much to you. You know, it's true. You know, somebody may tell you, well, you know, you have cancer. They may be telling you the truth, but after you tell you that, then what? If you don't have no understanding of whether you won't know what to do, other than just succumb to it and leave and pass away. However, this is more important than having cancer, much more important, because usually cancer only strikes a few people as to the total population of the planet, or North America, so to say. However, truth, you need to know that even a person with cancer needs to know it. So it should be more effective than the worst thing that we can think of in a way of being diseased. Are you all following what I'm saying? So I thought that today I would give a few pointers on how to tell when something is true or not. Do we have someone here, either one of you all are from the Messenger's time that's not with us? 144,000, anybody from that? Just the sisters? All right, well, that's still good. Briar's is calling. I wanted to say a few things concerning what the message we received from the messenger and how to determine whether it's true or not. And then we'll have an idea as to what we should do or what should be done. You know, the lessons that we know of that was given to the messenger by Master Farad Muhammad were lessons for him to study and to look over, just for him to start the process of thinking. Because when you're dealing with the Supreme Being, you have to be able to think. We don't operate in such a way where we just tell you all the time what to do. Tell you. You don't even do that with your children. You know, you attempt to teach them so as a time will come that they will free you. You will be free of them because they have learned the art of thinking, and they can start to protect themselves instead of being protected all the time. It's no different here. Now, the messenger told us that he had a message to deliver to us. It's strictly for the black man. Now, most of the black people didn't accept it, which we can see today. Most didn't accept it. And the ones that did, after the messenger was taken, they kept their mouth shut. They didn't say anything. It may be because they feared Wallace, or what would happen to them after the messenger passed, or who came into existence then. For whatever reason that they had, they kept their mouth shut. They didn't even tell their children. So today, we have a whole generation that know very, very little concerning what took place as a foundation for your future. I hope you all are following. Anything that is of importance has to have a base or background rooted in spirituality. If it don't, it's not that important to you. It's something that's passing. It's not a lasting thing. Since it was the black man, and is the black man that Allah come to actually retrieve and to put him back in his particular place or his rightful place as gods and rulers of this planet and universe, he had to send a message and a messenger. He himself couldn't come himself, or it wouldn't have been proper for him to come himself and do it himself because of the lack of knowledge that we had. So he raised one up. He tolerated one, and his ignorance, one. And after he talked to the messenger, he ran for 7 years to try to get away from him. But he couldn't get away from what Master Muhammad or Allah had put in him. And during the teachings, it's in the lessons that was given to the messenger, and the lessons was given to the messenger. They were not given to us. The messenger let us have them. But they weren't given to us, they were given to him. And in one of the lessons it reads about Master Muhammad being our nephew. And a nephew is not as great as the uncle. Just for the mere fact he's not supposed to be as old as the uncle. Hope you listen. Your uncle should be your mother or your brother's or your father's brother. The nephew comes from one of them. Is that right? I want to put this in such a way where you can apply it to the urgency of the time. And whatever knowledge that you have, you can see whether it's true or not. If it is true for this time, or was it true yesterday? Because what was true yesterday doesn't necessarily mean it's true today. So going back to what I was speaking on, these are one of the things that we should think about as far as us being the God. It didn't say our nephew was the God, it said the black man is God. And he sent to us someone that was in dyed garment, meaning that he had a white mother, black father, to raise up the messenger. And doing all of the message, the latter part of it, the message says, after me comes God. After me comes God. He didn't say, after me comes his son. He didn't say, comes the minister. He says, after me comes God. However, there are certain things that must take place before that comes into reality. You know, after your mother raises you to a certain age, you still don't, after you know everything your mother knows, you just don't go right straight to your father. You have a little bit of time to float around and try what your mother said to see if it's really true, to get a grip on things. And by the time you get balanced in that, then an urge starts to come up in you to actually be hanging with your dad. In the beginning, you really don't want to be with him because he looks like he's out of time. Or he's always too serious. There's never no play. So this is the same thing that happened with us. After the messenger was taken, most of us went back into the world, or went with Wallace, which is play. You know, play God, play high moral. It's all play. Nothing real. When that period of time took place, as it reads in the Quran, once we send you a teacher, before we send you the person to test you, we remove the teacher. So Elijah was removed. His son was brought in to test us, the ones that came with the message. Now we see who actually was really for the message and who wasn't. Because the ones that was with him didn't really understand the message, or they didn't really want it. The ones that really wanted the message, you're still out here. You're still out here. And this is why I'm here. To get you. Anyone else that comes, that's a feather in my cap. However, I'm here to actually get the ones that were with the messenger that wanted the message and the reality of it. And I hope you all listen. We have a book that was given to us called the Problem Book. And it pretty much explained to us why we are in the condition that we are. We didn't just wake up one morning and then we become dumb. Didn't know anything. This was a process. Over 50,000 years to bring us to this condition of where we are now, at least when the messenger came. Now in the Problem Book, it asks all kinds of questions. How much water is in Lake Erie? Square inch of it. How many atoms is in so much air? Some difficult questions, we would think. And I know quite a few brothers, well, I know some brothers that has answered some of it. But they're not doing nothing. So if we would think about, what was the purpose for the lessons, period? Even the question, who is the original man? You're not doing nothing. You're the Asiatic black man, the owner of the maker. You don't own nothing, you ain't made nothing, and you can't be the God of nothing. So why was all this? It's true. But it must be something left for God himself to do, to put it into motion. The main thing that all of the lessons were given for was to get you in the process of thinking. Hope you listen. It wasn't so much for you to answer it. Like I say, we have brothers that answer it. I've answered it. Of course, I'm doing something. If you're going to deal with God in the knowledge of God, in his presence or in his time, you have to know how to think. You've got to know how to think. You must. It's a must. So the ones that came under the messenger and went through the lessons and remembered them and tried to work, this puts you in the process of thinking. So when I come to speak to you, to let you know, this is what must be done. This is how you must think to achieve what was promised to you in the lesson. Then you can say, oh, I see. There's been no one else that has came with the lessons such what the messenger gave us or shared with us. Nobody. We've had some other knowledge, but not in depth about us and the things that it takes for us to live concerning this planet in a humanistic and in a spiritual way. Nobody. And we've had quite a few people came before the messenger and even during the time of the messenger to make sure something is done about this black man and his condition. Look at us. Nobody superseded the messenger. Nobody. Whether you think we stole some knowledge from somebody or whatever, nobody has superseded it. And the messenger said, after me comes God. What did other people say? Did they say the same thing? After me comes God? I think Daddy Gray said, I'm coming back. He didn't say after him. He said he's going to die, and he preached his own funeral. He said he was coming back. I don't know if you all know this or not. He ain't got back yet. And the black man is fast perishing. You don't have no families. I'm saying this because I want you to think. So you will know if what you were told is true. After me comes God. Now, everybody has been before me. From the messenger to Wallace to the minister and to other little people just around trying to do something. You don't see them. The minister has erased himself. He's no longer effective in anything because we found him to be untrustworthy. Are you all following me? Yeah. If we still need to have relief from the way that we're living, then we can see why it was written in the Bible when Jesus was saying, I got to go away. If I don't, the Comforter cannot come. What person that came and brought you comfort? If it is, I don't know who it is other than myself. And what is it that will bring you comfort? A new home? A good family? No. The first thing that will bring you comfort is peace of mind, and you got to have some knowledge. That's what brings you peace of mind. Knowing what's going to happen tomorrow before it happens. Knowing. Not guessing. Knowing. And then know where you stand tomorrow. How you stand with it. You got to know this. Then you have to have an activity that will sustain your existence. Food, clothing, and shelter. If you don't have that, you still don't have nothing. You stand on the corner and talk, or now it's on the internet. You got off the corner, you sit in your living room or wherever and get on the internet and talk. You're doing the same thing, but you're doing nothing. How will it make sense to you? Because we should be looking for God. Not God in his person, but you have to be looking. If God is God and he's here, he's got to be providing a system of relief for you. Not where you go to work for somebody else. Now I say provide a system. Meaning that while this system is being developed, growing, like it is in the prayer, for surely Allah thou art praised and magnified in thy midst. So the system has to be magnified while God is right here, right in your midst, and you in his. He got to bring the system, then you got to start working it. And as you work it, it broadens itself, it magnifies itself. That's bringing you comfort. Because now you got a choice. Before you didn't have no choice. You know, a lot of times in my travel, and I don't travel by plane, I'm still crawling around like babies do, you know, but they start moving, crawling, or walking real slow. Even if they run, their legs are so short, they still ain't making no progress. So I'm driving across the land, I stop into a restaurant and whatnot, and one thing I gotta say, white folks patronize their white folks. You see 3 or 4 black people may come in, according to what part you are. Now if you're in the city part, in a good restaurant, you may see maybe a half a dozen black people coming in. But it's filled up with white folks. They patronize themselves. If you get a restaurant and fix it up decent, black people won't even come to it because it's too decent. If you sell hog, then no white folks come and a few black people come. So you got to make your money on carry out. A few people come in and then you carry it out because the people's not coming in. So you really don't have no system set up for comfort or relief. Not one. And if you're thinking that money is going to bring it, that's not going to get it. Michael Jackson got plenty of money. They say he got so much money, if he lived 5 lifetimes, he couldn't spend it. Bill Cosby got plenty of money. I think he had 1 son now, he don't have him. So if you got the money and you got 1 son losing, I don't think that's comfort. Do you? Well, Jesus said, well, I got to go away. I got to. If I don't, the Comforter can't come. The fullness of Jesus is Elijah. He's gone. He said before I left, now I got to go away. I could tell you many things, But you can't bear it now. That's what Elijah said. However, after me, God himself will come. And if it pleases God, I may be with you. However, if I'm not, this is the end. All right, so the brothers come and say, well, Brother Minister, well, Solomon, would you go and speak in the Alton? If we got a place for you to speak? I said, yeah, I'll speak. If they need more than 3 or 4 people, I'll go and speak to them. Because I know how powerful you are. Royall came and spoke to one man. He had 25 other followers, but he just did this in general as an attraction to show this one man. He taught one man. He spoke to quite a few. And the one man he taught, in return, gave us the message of what he taught. What do you think about it? Now, Royall also told the messenger, I'll climb a 40-mile mountain and eat rattlesnakes just for one. For one. Not for many, for one. Because that's all he needed. For one, he wanted a son. He wanted Elijah to give him a son. Hope you all are following what I'm saying. I'm attempting to show the importance of the statement, after me comes God. I don't know what the secretary said when I was there. Did you explain the businesses and things that we're in? You understand this? Yes, sir. All right. So we have the system already in place. Now it's left up to you. If you don't make it, you can't charge me. You cannot charge me for not being on my post and doing what I'm supposed to do. The system is in place. Are you going to magnify it? We give you a prayer. Are you going to pray it? We bring something for you to do. Are you going to work it? I share knowledge with you. Are you going to receive it? I have food for you. Are you going to eat it? I have heaven for you. Are you going to come? You see? I don't make nobody do nothing. Nobody do nothing. I'm a giver. And I most certainly am after Elijah. And it appears like after everybody else. And how you would tell that is because whatever anybody is saying or doing today, if I'm superseding it, then I'm greater than them. So then you say, the pronounced one is the one that we're just finding out about. We didn't know he was this way. We didn't know he had what he had. It's because he was too busy looking at everything that you think that's supposed to be something. The same old trick, over and over and over, the same old trick. You got to get paid. Who gonna pay you? White folks? If they don't, it's white folks' money. After me comes God. Well, what are you gonna do, God? I'm gonna free you, black man. You just gonna free the black man? No. I'm gonna free everyone that accepted Elijah. That accepted Elijah. And those that were looking on in the process of freeing them, if they like what they saw, then I'll also accept you too. However, whatever you're into, or whatever you think you have, or whatever denial that you think that you are issuing out or placing it in, you deny yourself. There's nothing that you can give God, nothing, but your submission. Can't give nothing else. I got the system for you. You don't have it for me. I'm ending the necessity for prayer from you to me. I'm ending it. You can't. I'm the one saying you don't have to pray no more. You can't tell me that. And it be true. So there's nothing you can give me other than your submission or your obedience. And then I have everything to give you, everything. An unlimited future. You would be like the scientists said when they looked and they couldn't see the end of this. If you are this, it means you also can't see the end of it. Hope this isn't boring. You know, it's so many things we need to know, or you need to know. It's so many things. And then come before you and give you exactly what you need. I would have to know what is real. Because most of you don't know what real is. So if I share it with you, whether you expect it or not, or what you come for, if you think over it, that's exactly what you need. You need to know what time it is and what you should be doing. White folks, they're at their end. They're over. They're finished. They're finished. And if you think I'm telling you other than the truth, it also reads, at the end, the hammers would be ringing, the devils would be building like they're going to be here forever. Just travel around. You go in the city, you can't only go 10 blocks, they just build it. You go in the country, they got whole neighborhoods. They're not putting up 1 or 2 houses no more, they're putting up a whole neighborhood. Just building. But the book says when you see that, that's the end. So that's how you tell the proof of truth. Now, it's only one man that's supposed to be coming, speaking something that nobody else can speak, and doing what nobody else can do. Number one is change your thinking. Nobody has done that. They haven't even tried you. They wanted to acquaint you with God, but leave you thinking the same way that the enemy taught you that God is. He's a mystery. He's unseen. He's been omnipotent. He's all powerful. He's all seer. And never give you no knowledge to weigh that out in your mind to make it real. It's very, very spooky. However, the reality of it, God is a man. And he's here providing a place for you to operate in to bring about your own salvation. You've got to go through some of the same things I've gone through. That's hell. The key is go through it. Don't get stuck in it. And how you get stuck in it is your thinking. If we haven't told you how to think or changed it, there's no way in the world you're going to come out of it. You cannot come out of this. You may as well go to Red Mike's church or stay with a Christian, because you're not going to come out of it. They're in a perpetual circle on the road to hell. How many of you all are already with me here? Tomorrow, you all intend to be at the meeting tomorrow? Yes, sir. Well, I have a special message for you all. It is, I'm used to that. That's no problem. Regardless of what people do, what they say, I'm still God. I don't get upset. I'm still God. It's one thing to know who you are, it's another thing to don't know who you are. You follow what I'm saying? So, it looks like everybody's attention is halfway at someplace else. I put it here. Ain't nothing happening greater than this. Nothing. Nothing. You know, Master Prophet Muhammad said he was a prophet. And a prophet tells you what's going to happen before it happens. He said it, now it's happening. So if he's a prophet, no longer any more need for prophets or for Master Prophet Muhammad. There's no need for that, because what he did was to tell us what was going to happen before it happened. Then he raised up a messenger to tell us what to do when it's happening. You all already know this, right? Well, do we have any other people here that are new? Okay. What I'll do, I'll open up the floor so you can go to the mic over there and you ask me questions, so I can answer the questions for you. There's a mic on the side here. and we'll get into some of the things that you would like to know. Is that mic on?
It's a recording phone. How did it come over the PA and you talk loud?
Oh.
Yes. First, I'd like to thank everybody for the hospitality, and I thoroughly enjoyed your remarks, sir, and the two speakers before you.
Excuse me, is it being recorded?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay. My question, it's sort of multifaceted. Number one, why should black people be any more inclined today to think a certain way that they weren't more inclined to think years ago when the original messenger was speaking?
Well, for one thing, the messenger said he was a messenger of Allah. So that automatically gave us something to look forward to. It wasn't the end. It's something greater that we were supposed to be looking forward to or to anticipate. So this means now, since the messenger has passed, then we should be expecting the greater of what he told us about. So our thinking should be, well, this little man was 4 feet something, look what he did. Now if somebody's coming that's greater than him, I should be with him. If what he said, the one that would be coming would be answering or making law what he said, then the thoughts of the black people now should be, well, hey, I want to be a part of that. So the anticipation should be looking for something greater. Because the messenger came, he delivered the message, if you were here during that time, we got it by witness, the man was great. The people that we saw as being great at that time as white folks, they couldn't do nothing to him. So he had to be, and he was the only person. He was the only person that identified white people as who they are, to their face, and identified us as to who we are, to our face. We didn't have no power to do anything about it except the message. White folks had power to do something about it, they thought, or we would thought that we would think that they could. They couldn't. So if the message was that great, how much more greater than God should be? So the thinking today should be much more intense than it were during the time of the messenger. So we should be looking, sure enough, for relief now. Just from the power of the message, it would be a sin for Allah to cause that to come about and then just die out. It would be a sin. It would be a waste of a man's life. It would be mockery. Yes, sir.
Okay, but the evidence, I'm sorry. Okay, we talked about truth and the certitude of truth. Truth not in I guess in a self-evident sense. What would be the evidence that the greater has come? I mean, I'm not really familiar I was listening to the speaker before me. Now, excuse me, man, I'm awful with names. But he was more or less talking about, it seemed to me, it was a non-capitalistic setup to where there was an activity, it was a city or something. Is that the proof or the evidence of the greater that has come?
Yes, sir. That's the evidence. That isn't the completion of it. That is the evidence. That's something that nobody is doing. Nobody has done. Now, prior to now, when black people did have something coming up from slavery, they still work on the premise of capitalism. We're not working on the premise of capitalism. We're working for our necessity. Now, money is used, but the way it is used is not done in such a way where we're out to make money. It's only used because that's what people accept as power today. So we use that. However, the ones that are actually using it, we're doing it so we be free to actually obtain knowledge that is actually power. While we're doing it, we're doing this for ourselves. We're feeding ourselves. We're clothing ourselves. We're learning how to think for self. Nobody ain't done that.
Because that's what I'm getting at. If, let's say, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking about, even in his accusation of the Caucasian as the devil, even if he would accept that and work with you, is he accepted in this ultimate truth?
You mean white folks?
Right.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's what I was getting at.
Yes, sir. Well, what do you do? We don't exclude no one. If there's any exclusion, the person themselves exclude their own selves.
Mm-hmm.
You can't personally stop somebody from accepting truth if you're a truthful person. The same way the sun shines on all 9 planets and all the moons of the planet. It shines. They don't say, well, I don't like Pluto, it's too far out, I'm not going to shine on it. Or, well, we know here on the earth we got some bad people and some good people. I want to shine on the good, I don't want to shine on the bad. They don't do that. It goes just one way. Now, usually, the man that is opposed to truth, by him opposing it, brings himself his own sickness. He punishes himself. The brothers that don't like what I'm doing, after clearly investigating it, this means the ones that came with the message, regardless of who you are. If this isn't liked by you from your nature, then you punish yourself. You get sick. You keep yourself ignorant. You misperceive everything that's real. So you're killing yourself, but you think you like the way you died. So it's not where we say, well, white folks is the devil, the bad people. We don't want them with us.
Okay. Am I taking time for anybody else?
No, sir, go ahead.
I'm trying to find out something. See, that's what I'm getting at. I'm taking advantage of you because I was listening to what he was saying real carefully. And he was talking about things that are in accord with our nature.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the history of the nation, let alone the United Nations. It seemed to me there was a lot of changes as far as our self-perception among black people when the messenger was here. A lot of us were doing drugs, eating unclean food, so to speak, whatever. It seems like there was a change in our minds, even of our own perception of ourselves, maybe as not being so right, or, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm kind of getting lost on this nature deal as far as what we are entitled to, as opposed to what anybody else is entitled to, just because we're all human beings.
All right. Well, the nature part comes in this way. If you have a son or even a daughter, there are certain things that they have a right to that your next door neighbor don't have the right to. That's coming from you. This is the same thing with the black man and other races also. God being God, his first choice is that relates to him best, or that is capable of relating to him better. That is the black man by nature. Now, if from the brown man to the white man, if they accept what the God is doing, God can't refuse them. But it is not their nature. If they accept, they're doing it because of their ability to think. Not because it's in their nature and that's what they love. Most of the time, it's impossible. It's literally impossible for this man that has developed this world that we're now living in don't know that he's doing wrong. Just to make wrong this organized and effective, you got to know right. So since he produced this is clear evidence that he knows what's right. However, he always makes sure he does it wrong. So when God does come, if he did do it right, wouldn't be no need for God coming. Wouldn't be no need for him to ever leave. So since God is coming, the man knew it. So God comes, he says, well, look, all right, you did your job. You did it well. Now I'm going to begin to do mine. Now the people that is going to be with me doing it is the people that is the best of my creation. They gravitate to the same thing that I gravitate to. It's just that their mother or their second uncle has reared them wrong. It's much like you have a child and you have to leave and go to work or do something for whatever reason. And the mother teaches your child against you. So when you do come back home and the child's up a little bit, grown up a little bit, then now the child is looking at you with disdain, disrespect. And you say, well, what are you doing that for? They don't want to answer you because they are doing what they learned from the mother. Because the mother was mad with you, now they don't pass it on to the child. So this is the same thing with this. We're coming up now, up out of that, finding out who we really are. And then what we're going to do about it after we find out if we're going to do something about it, God's got to have a way for you to do it. Now, if the mother changes her mind and say, well, I did talk about your father bad, but I see I did wrong, so I would like to participate too. Usually the father will let her participate. He won't take her back as a wife because what she did. But he's not going to stop her from doing whatever right she wants to do. That's the same thing with every other race, especially the white man. The brown man and the yellow man, they have their own rules, space where they rule in. They never, what you say, really come to really help us either, because of them being under the influence of the white man. So the white man is most pronounced in the opposite of us than any other race. However, if he wants to do good, come on. We have the power now. When you start to go crazy, we got the power. We stop you. The same thing with us. We want to go in and want to do something wrong. We don't do it in an organized fashion. He stops us. It's still wrong. He loves wrong. But he wants to do it in an organized fashion where he always benefits from it. So if you go to do something crazy, he lock you up. So the same thing with us. He comes to be with us and want to do right, and he wants to start doing crazy with it. We lock him up. But we didn't stop him from coming. You see, however, the main thing, the planet itself, the trees is dead. They're diseased. The water you can't drink. You can't go swim in the river no more. Everything, he done messed it up. And it comes from what he's done and how he's caused us to think. We're thinking everything is all right. Well, if he come up with a cure, he'll come up with it. He'll clean the ocean. He'll do this. He'll do this. He thinks he's going to do everything. He the one that messed it up and messed us up. Now, however, proof of the truth. The prophet said at the end of time, for him, God himself would come. He couldn't have been here watching this. I mean, right here, literally, he couldn't have been here. Why? Because he would have stopped it. So he had to go away. However, when it got finished, then he would come. And he came after his own. His own. My people died for the lack of knowledge, not the people. My people. Who are your people, God? The ones that you took out of Africa and brought over here in North America, buried them in a shallow grave. Those are my people. Well, which one of them is really your people? The ones that accepted the message in Elijah? Really accepted it. Those are really my people. Well, okay, now you found that out. Now, how are they going to make it? Well, I'm setting up a system for them to be active in so they can learn how to think and they can be right with their father. Then there won't be no ending of them. Like it reads in the book, there will be no ending of days for you. So that's what we're doing. Now, while we're doing this, right in the house of Satan or the devil, and we're sitting him down and making him bear witness that this is real, he's going to turn himself and say, look, I don't want to go to hell. Some of them. Let us go over here and help this Solomon. That's why we put it in the Bible. Even the enemy or stranger, help Solomon. So white folks are going to come and help. However, my duty is, I didn't come after them. I didn't come after white folks. I didn't even come after the nigger. I didn't come after no nigger. I came after the black man. Now, if the black man comes with me, he's a black man. He's the original man. He belongs with this knowledge. Not so much with me in the flesh, but this knowledge belonged to him. But we couldn't give it to him while he wasn't supposed to rule, because he would have gave it to his enemy. And then we would have never got out of this. You see? So now, I'm here. So everybody that still want to think the way white folks think can't be with me. Now, if they decide to change their mind a couple years down the road after catching sure enough hell, now they're going to have to try to catch up. Ain't no catching up. You don't created a great big gulf, a gap between us and you. So now you're going to try to catch up. Oh, he was right. Oh my God, he was right. Well, I have people calling me now. We've been doing this since 1991. Was that there? 91? Yes, sir. Since the latter part of 1991, we started speaking. I had an old raggedy car. almost holes in my shoes. Now, the people that came back then, now they see what I'm doing. They didn't come and say, oh man, I heard him, 5 or 6 years ago. I got a couple of his tapes. I didn't think it was going to be nothing. Man. Now they look around and we can't count the things we got. It used to be I could say, well, we got a restaurant, and we got this, we got that. Now, I have to have it written down. There's so much. And every day it's increasing. Every day is increasing. So you keep waiting, you lose. Because this is your time. And this is the proof of truth. The black man ain't done nothing. All the money, all of the resources that you voluntarily engaged, the one that you thought was supposed to be, he didn't do nothing with it. He done nothing with it. Now the one that you don't know, or the one that you heard of and haven't given anything to, this is the one that's getting everything done. There is I'd have to ask the secretary. As far as my knowledge, there's been no Caucasian that has looked at what we're doing and had one negative thing to say. And they look and they write about us in the newspaper. They don't even write negative in the newspaper. But they write about Minister Farrakhan. They talk about him like $900. But what I'm saying is, and it's not because we doing something in cahoots with them, the reason why they don't say nothing. They can't find nothing wrong. And they know if this is truly him, and we know it is, we don't have to go to him and do anything. If we just do something that to someone that's with him, like it reads, you do it to the least of mine, you did it to me. So that can cause your whole family to perish. Your whole town to perish. Leave you alive unless you watch this. You all understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir, brother. You have to speak up loud.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank your minister, Brother Minister Robert, and Sister Sharad for the invitation to come here. I'm sorry that Brother Earl and I is a little late. Brother Solomon, I was in the tail end of the first resurrection. Worked over 20 years with Minister Farrakhan. And within that time, I saw, like thousands of us have seen, many brothers and sisters putting all of their energies, their life, their works, their monetary means into programs that they thought and believed was right. Many of these people lost their homes, their families, their lives in the first resurrection, as well as with the Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan. I wonder, what can you tell us that this is not going to be any different? Because there are, as I said, thousands of us out in the bounds of North America and throughout the Caribbean.
Right? Well, what I tell you is that I'm changing your thinking. I'm doing something that none of them did. They try to make something work the way that our enemy has it going. And if it's the time for the end of that, you can't make it work. I don't care how shiny you make it shine it up, how you present it. If God says that's the end, you can't make it work. God said, I will come. I will bring you out with great substance. Didn't he say that in Genesis? He's telling Daniel, go thy way, Daniel. The book is sealed. And just before that great and dreadful day, I will send you Elijah. And Elijah will turn the hearts of the children to me, and I back to them. And when that takes place and is completed, then I, God himself, I'm not a minister, not a prophet, not an apostle, not a messenger. I will come myself, and I will bring them out with great substance. So in order to do that, the first thing God's got to do is change your thinking. He's got to do it in a mathematical way. Like we got the problem book, it reads that we were put in this condition, this miserable condition, in a mathematical way. So the only way you're going to get out, since Islam is math, and math is Islam, not hopes and dreams. This means that you got to think. You got to use the math in a mathematical way. Not so much numbers, but factual. No one fact is the truth. But facts together will most certainly produce the absolute truth. So as long as you're not thinking factual, you will never produce anything for yourself. Because you can't think your way out of the miserable use of the numbers or the thinking that you already been trapped in. So what makes this right is because what you're receiving is a system. And once you learn how to work the system, then the black man as a whole, as a people, will start to magnify himself. Because the thinking produces absolute. It don't produce question. It don't produce prayer. It don't produce doubt. It produces knowing. So this is what makes it different. What I'm sharing with you is a formula for you to be able to lead me on the side. You don't have to take me with you. You don't have to have my picture. You don't have to say no prayer. But however, you got to think mathematically. You got to. And since nobody's doing it, I put it into practice. And then gave them a place where you can work, where white folks don't come and bother you. So you can start using the math yourself, and you can see it yourself. And this way, there's never no loss, always gain. The place where we get most of our utilities from, electric, water, gas, and that nature, in what we call heaven. They're going to give us a grant. We petitioned them for a grant, since we're using so much of it. They said, all right, well, you acquired a school. So what we will do, we will give you $20,000 towards the utilities on the school. Then they went back and did a study on how we use things. And then they came back and said, well, we can't give you the $20,000. Why not? Well, we've done a study on you, and the way you all use your utilities is not like anybody else. So we have to prorate it. The way they were using school before you all got it, they left the lights on, for the rest, the mice, the janitor, this, that. And so, but you all don't do that. Your records show that you use everything very sparingly. So we're not going to give you the full. We're going to have to prorate it according to how you use it. You might think, well, man, the white folks, they're just trying to come up with a reason not to give us nothing. However, that speaks very firmly that the idea is working. We don't waste nothing. You see, so this is your salvation. This is the time. I am the person to make sure that you become a God. The ones that came before and tried to do something, it was from their own thinking. The messenger wasn't supposed to build no nation. He didn't do it based on his own thinking. Just based on the knowledge that he had and do something, he'd done something to attract the people so that they will pay attention to the message and be in accord with what was already written. The nation would rise, but it would fall again. The dry bones came together, but they fell back apart again. However, the message says it's going to rise again, never to fall. The nation has never risen again. Minister Farrakhan came back. He reminded what the messenger said. Wallace didn't come back. He never was with his father. Never was. He ain't no hypocrite. He never was with his father. His duty was to tear it down and watch you and see how many people stuck with it and how many people didn't. That's what he was supposed to do. That was his job, commissioned by God himself. Go try them, Wallace. All them brothers talking about, I'm your brother. I'm going to try you now. Only 3 out of 10 made it. Out of every 10, only 3 people made it out of the trial. Then came the reminder. If the reminder was during the same time, it wouldn't be no trial. After the trial, the teacher started back again to let the ones know that didn't go for a while, to let them know, I'm glad you held on. This is what it's really about. We raised up the reminder. So then the minister came in. He started. Then they let us know, man, I'm so glad I didn't go with Wallace. What the message said was true. But you still didn't have no nation. Even if you got the buildings back, there is no activity in the way of for the black man. Not a black man, but the black man as a whole. There's no activity. Because the thinking never changed. So now, God himself comes and says, I'll bring you out with great justice. Matter of fact, the Queen of Sheba loved me so much, she brought over all kinds of gifts. We had to tell her, look, don't bring no more. Well, we can't use all this as it is. That's because when I bring you out, you were brought out indeed, because you were brought out from here. You were brought out from the slave thinking, the entrapment that you've been in. So that's why this is different, and this is why it demands your attention. I have a banking system set up with this. Those of you that have $10 over what you need, you open up and if you don't want to give it to me, you don't want to give it to the nation. United Nations, I'm talking about United Nations. If you don't want to give it because you don't trust me, well, we have a banking system. Open up your account, put your $10 in. Then when you get mad, I don't like you, I want my money back. I gotta give back to you. Nobody else does that. They claim that they're for black people. They tell you to give. Give. And why don't you have some more to give? Give. Look, you've been coming, 5 days a week, come 7 and give. Now, if your wife get on you because you don't have nothing to eat, forget her. Come and give. I mean, they come and took your car, get you some tennis shoes, and walk to work. But give. And then, in your giving, ask for atonement. You were brought over here. You didn't come over here. John Hawkins hawking me like you, and Hawkins spit out. Hawkins went and got you and brought you out. Brought you over here. You didn't come, you were brought here. So what do you got to atone for? Then you were put under a man that is said that you will go under a man for 400 years. And he can be put in the fire to you for 400 years. God said this. He told Abraham before Abraham even had a child. Your seed. That's why I said, we got to think. Nobody teaches you to think. So under those conditions, what you got to atone for? You really didn't do it. Your enemy did it through you. The real you haven't come out yet because God didn't come to bring you out. Now I'm here to bring you out and put you doing something that is beneficial to you and you as a people. I'm not saying give me money. I came up here today, I don't know if the car is still parked here or not. What is it, a 76 Chevy? That's why I came up here, 76 white Chevrolet. Car run good. I could get a brand new car. Matter of fact, I do have one, I think. My grandson drive it. The members bought it for me. But that's not where it's at. I thank you. But that's not where it's at. If that answers your question, in other words, it's imperative that you see that you've been tricked. You've been duped, you've been had. Christianity ain't produced nothing for you, and Islam, as the way we know it, hasn't produced anything. Matter of fact, it has made you a slave. The same way the Christians have made the Christians a slave. You get on your knees and you pray. If you have your prayer rugs and you pray, no disrespect, but reality, proof of truth. You do this, you get up and you go to work for a man that's the enemy of what you just did. So you're going to associate most of your time and day with your enemy. But then you pray to a God hoping that he relieves you from that and it never happens. So what kind of God is that? He got to be a mighty weak God unless he has a plan. You don't know what the plan is. So I'm here telling you, Elijah told you what the plan is. I'm now telling you what to do to be relieved. And most people can't stand it. They can't stand it. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam.
Let's see, I have a question, and this is really kind of a question from back in Springfield. We have some brothers there who love Ghana. And their plan basically is, we know it's going to catch on fire here. We know the destruction is going to come, the economy is going to go. But we're going to escape. We're going to go to Ghana. We're going to buy some land. We're going to get some more wives over there. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Also, we had invited someone else here from the Nation of Islam. I won't go into too much detail about how he is. The minister declared a special meeting last night, so this brother couldn't come right away. And then he declared another one today and another one tomorrow, so the brother wouldn't be here. So, and then there's something about going to Ghana. What's this about going to Ghana? We weren't supposed to go to Africa according to the messenger's teaching until after we'd gotten ourselves together over here.
Well, these are all ploys to make sure that the black man... You don't want me to really tell you something about that real process? It might be painful, so I'm asking you again. Do you really want to hear this? It may sound very untrue. If you do the math, you'll see it's right. You'll see it's true. I'm going to take you someplace, and I want you to go with me. Do you want to go on the ride? Yes, sir. Here's God himself. He has a problem. He works the problem out in his thinking before he takes a step. You all hear me? Yes, sir. Then he goes to work to reach the solution or the end of the problem. One of the first things he does, he raises up a few people before he actually raises up the main person, his messenger. He will call someone like Marcus Garvey to come about. Daddy Grace, Father Divine. With me? This is to get you ready. It's like an appetizer before you eat. Glass of wine before you start your meal. Because what's coming in, it just can't just pop in. It's got to have some type of warning. So these people are lesser than the one he's going to raise up directly from him. But it is at least getting people's mind in that direction. Listen. Then when he gets to the point where he actually teaches and raises up a man and then leaves and tells the man, go for it. You don't need me. What I've given you is enough power. Go for it. The man himself was during the time of these other people that I just named. So before he gets started, these people already got large congregations. So it is somewhat threatening to him to go forth on this endeavor, and he can't find his teacher. You listen. However, the knowledge won't leave him alone. He's got to move on it. So in his moving, he finds out that those that seem to be greater than him and those that didn't come at all are hurling now all types of insults and disbelief at him. He still hasn't recognized what he's got as far as power. After he gets through that hurdle and let it be known everything that he's got, or the least of what he has, is much more than all that they have put together. Then, here comes a helper or a mocker at the tail end that really don't know the power of this man, so he's speaking out on only what he sees at the moment. And it is insulting. You listening? So since it's insulting to the messenger, he says, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to eat your insult. However, I'm going to make you speak for me. I'm going to make you speak for me. Since you're laughing at the knot in my tongue, are you listening? So since the messenger said it, and he has all the power to make it real, it becomes real. Now, since the person is made to do this, they are never with the maker. You know, it's like you make your child go clean his room up. Get in there and clean that room up. Now, you don't ask him several times. When you clean the room up, he study playing, won't go do it. Now you got to take your belt off and threaten. He'd go and clean the room up, but he didn't want to do it. If you let him have his way, he wouldn't have done it. You follow me? Now, after he does this against his will, while he was doing it, it appeared as though this was genuine. This came straight from the heart and knowledge with God's blessing. Then when the teacher or the maker vacates and leaves this one in charge, after a certain period of time, the first feeling that he witnessed comes back up in. And when it does, he looks back on what he was made to do. Then hatred is born. Now, what can I do to get back at this maker? He made me to do something that I didn't want to do. I got to get him back in some way. Since I can't get him, let me go after his children. Follow me? I will pretend that I'm with the God that my maker said he was with. At the same time, I will suddenly and slowly and authoritatively take them back to nothing, as a mockery and a show of the hate that I had for my maker. Now, what is this that I see coming up on the horizon? It looks like light greater than mine, even greater than the maker of me. However, it's in accord with the one that I hate. What shall I do? I got to figure out something. Let me grab hold to the altar, horns of the altar, with great conviction. And let it appear as though that I am suffering under the weight of the ignorance of the people, trying to do my best to bring them out with great substance. I will ask them to give until their teeth bleed. Under the guise that I'm getting something set up for them. I will pretend that I'm making a home for them overseas. So when you die, so when you make your mind up, you got someplace to go. The Christians say, die, you go to heaven. This is what they're saying, come with me and you go overseas. Keep giving. And to add to the trick, let me build a temple there and make it as though it is really something unusual and unique. When in real reality, the black man is so ignorant, he don't know that's a Muslim country. They have plenty of temples. Now, to make sure the light of this one is not shown or accepted, what I will do to express my hate, every time that he is to speak to those ones that haven't heard him, I will make sure I call a special meeting. And if you are loyal to me, you must obey me. Because you've been with me 20 years. You knew nothing of this late one coming. He can't do nothing for you. If I couldn't, what do you think he can do? Don't even pay no attention to him. I'm the one that is suffering in your behalf as an intercessor between you and God. So you fall for it. However, it's an expression of the hate that he had for your life. That's the ride. I hope you have arrived at the destination. You see, there's no way in God's green or in it or on it that a man could participate in something as glorious as what the messenger did. When they were still killing black people, lynching them, they never lynched Elijah. A bullet never found the home, never found his target in Elijah. No fist or knuckles never found his way to Elijah. Even with the hate of the black man. Even with the hate of the one that was made. Never found his way to Elijah. Even in prophecy saying that your son and Malcolm, the one that is going to take a third of heaven with him, is going to come against you. He said, hey, ain't no big thing to me. Let them come. I know their fate. Are you listening? Yes, sir. Knowing all this and living and seeing it, and then turn and go back to the man that you know is against the Maker, that can only be an expression of your dislike or hate. It can't be just dislike, because dislike, you don't move with that intensity. Something to give you that persistence in drive has got to stem from hate, not just dislike. And I, being Allah, which leader have approached me to actually see if I am? I'll answer for you. Neither one. Not one, not including the minister. I went to him twice and promised I was coming the third time. I heard the hate that he has for the message. He's always made sure that third meeting never happened. However, it's already documented. There's an end to that. And when you wake up, and I bring you out of your stupor, and you come to find out you've been drunk for the last 20 years, and the man that fabricated the intoxicating thoughts that fed you, you will now go look for him. Because it's criminal. It's a criminal thing for a mother to keep the child away from the father. That's criminal. The father really has a right to kill the child and the mother. I'm telling you from God, he has the right to kill both of them. It's just that we are now in a land that has taught you to do that, so we must be lenient to a certain degree. However, this type of teaching and what I'm doing is going to bring you back into your God-given natural law and right. That's what is happening now. So I wanted to let you know why. You can take this answer back or take the tape back and let them listen to it. That's why. Because that's an expression of hate. And you can't turn it around no other way to make it come out to something that's divine. To do that, you're a hater also. Or you just plain ignorant. You have another question? Yes, sir.
Yes, Father. This is my first time meeting you, and I listened to a couple of your tapes and like one of your videos. My brother Troy, he done brought a couple of them over, and like beginning of this week, you told me that you was going to be here at the end of this week, and I cut hair for a living. You know, I'm a barber for a living, and this week is supposed to be Easter week. You know, this is supposed to be the week everybody want to be cute. You know, everybody going to church, so everybody gonna be dressed up. At first, I told him I ain't gonna be able to make it because I need this money because I'm gonna have bills. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be the biggest week of our whole year. You know, everybody being killed. But then he gave me like a tape like Wednesday. I don't know if it was Wednesday or Tuesday. He gave me a tape. It was called Never Alone. And I listened to that tape, and I came out to find out on that tape that you are God. You are God. And I couldn't. Yeah, and by listening to the tapes, I kept trying to. When I listened to that tape, I made in my mind that I was gonna come. I gotta come see you for myself. And as I was listening to the tapes and stuff, I was trying to think of a question I could ask you, so I can ask you because you God. I wanted to ask you a question, but by listening to the tapes and doing the mathematical thinking, I kept answering myself. So I really couldn't find a question. But so I kind of sat back and thought of one. Let me get it some so I can get to the mic. So I came up with after I leave here, I go back to Wichita. See, my dad's a pastor. My dad's a pastor at church. I live next door to my brother. He's a preacher. And right before we came down here, like last night, I was over my brother's house and I was telling him he had his girl over there too, and I was telling him that I was going to St. Louis. And I told him earlier I was gonna go see God. He think it's a game. He think it's funny, So his girl, he's like, man, he told me, tell my girl who you going to see. And I told him God, and they just busted out laughing like it was funny. You know what I'm saying? So the question I came up with is when I go back to Wichita and When I go back, I'm gonna have to tell my father, you know what I'm saying? I can't no longer be with him no more. I just want to know how can I handle that? What way should I go about doing that?
Well, you always do everything, from the standpoint of intelligence or mathematical. First place, you really want to know, what does the word pastor mean? What is that? And what does preacher mean? And when you get to the real definite of that, then you'll know exactly what your dad and brother is doing. Pastor means to do something that's already past, or use a living expression of something that's past. If it's past, it's dead, it's gone. You just expressing of it. So in reality, it really means that we're looking at something that's past. In other words, even if they have the scriptures, they don't have the knowledge to show the future in it. They can only tell you what happened in the past. Abraham did this, and Jonah did that, and did. It's past. God said, I'm the God of the now and the future. I'm the God of the living, not the past. That's all it appears to be put to it. So when you want to tell him, say, well, I'm not with you, just say, well, you don't have to say, well, I'm not with you as a father. I'm still your son. However, that you believe in, I have learned better. And I'm certainly glad that I'm your son. If you were stuck in this, or if you believe that whatnot, I now have an opportunity to embrace something new, and also keep on to what's past, hold on to what's past, meaning you. I still hold my dad and what he thinks, and I also stepping off into the future because I got to make a way for my children. And I'm not going to have them repeating something redundantly or in a vicious circle. So as long as you will allow me to treat you as a father and not in your belief, well, then we'll always be father and son. If you're going to stop me from associating with something that I have no power to stop, well, then you're making me come up with a decision. Really, it's your decision that you're not going to accept me. So I will have to go with what I know is right and hope that God will open your heart, or however that you accept me for what I'm doing, and leave it alone, and leave the rest to me, and let him see what you're into by seeing you. And if you come up with your morals, the right conviction, the right attitude, and if you was going to give up one of the most beneficial days to you just to come see me, I'll make it up to you. You don't have to worry about it. There is no such thing as a sacrifice that is too great or that can even be thought of for a person to do, to be with me. Because if you can think of something that is absolutely something that you really would not want to do, even your own thing would be telling you you're crazy. And you say, well, I got to do this because I'm going to be with Father. And you step out to do it. If it really is crazy, I will stop you. Or I will put your motion in a way where you'll be successful and you don't get no hurt. The same way as like, who was it? When Allah told, was it Abraham? Go kill his son? I mean, that's his only son. Take him up and make him a sacrifice, Abraham. Don't just kill him, give him some arsenic and let him go to the bedroom and sleep. You won't see it. You just find him dead. No, you go cut his head off. You do it. What, God, my only son? Well, do you love me? Yes, sir, I love you a lot. Well, then you will do as I ask. You see? So to let you know that God steps in, he just wanted Abraham to know how much he did love him. Abraham had no other way to show to his own self. A lot of people say, well, I love you, Father, or you tell your wife, I love you, baby, or she tell you, I love you. Those are words. Now, when it comes to doing something that is highly unusual, and the person don't show no real concern about doing it, then you can say, well, you don't have to do that, baby. I'll take care of that. You can see, they really do love me. Then they will see, I do love him. You see? And then they can see, on the other hand, he must love me too, because he didn't let me do it. So the same thing with you. You gave up the best that this world has to offer you in what you are doing. Now, you have to pay your rent time's coming up, all the things that people normally do, and you gave it up. So then now I got to step in and make sure that everything is all right. Might not give you money, but I might have the landlord tell you, hey, you don't owe no rent this month. I've been with many. I think in many ways. That's what I'm a blessing. I bless you. I get mad when I say bless you. And this is really true. The hurting thing to me is when the black man conducts himself in such a manner, he won't allow me to bless him. He won't allow. If a brother comes in and says, look, I don't believe you. Well, I understand. I can really understand. I can really, truly understand that he don't believe I'm God. However, when he starts to express whether he believes what he's hearing me say, that he don't believe it, then how is it you don't believe it? Then when he comes back, well, I don't believe it because so and so and so, and when he said it because it's okay, all right, then that means so and so and so and so and so. I clear that up. Well, I still don't believe it. Well, what is it that you don't believe about that? Well, I don't believe it because so and so and so and so. All right, I come back and clear that up. Well, I just don't want it. Well, I can't bless it. Then he walking off mad because I gave him something that he can't use or don't want to use. I'm upset because he don't want to use it. You understand? So I'm not a God just like all about wrath. Forget that. I already got that set in motion. I already got it set in motion. Like I said, when you leave me, like the brothers got them just walk there. Like as soon as they start, I get this figure. Well, hey man, look like that. And when he's saying that, he really got nothing to say. He up and left. So they missed it. They missed it. You see? They didn't come up. Now I'm God. They was told that I'm God. When you come to see God. I said, well, and I'm going to allow you to ask questions. If it were me, I said, oh, he God? I don't believe it. I'll be sitting there waiting for it. Questions, whoop, I pop up. Go to the mic. Yes, sir, Mr. God, I got a question for you. You see? That's intelligence. But when you make your mind up about God, a person you know nothing about, the only way that you can equate that God is God is God come and tell you about himself. And it's got to correspond with your nature, not what you do, because what you're doing is all wrong. It's your nature. When that corresponds and comes together, then you say, oh, okay, I see. Then I can start blessing you. The blessings will never stop. If it stops, you stop it. The same thing with the minister. As long as he was up there just ministering and whatnot, as far as what the messenger taught, everybody loved him. As a matter of fact, he gained so much love that when they took him up on the mountain to take his life for messing up, people moaned, 30 days after they took his life, they just still moaning and crying and carrying on. They loved the man so much. But God didn't love him. So I don't care how many people, how much they moan and cry and all that kind of stuff, it didn't mean nothing. And all them people couldn't save him. Because he messed the people up. He had the robe, they say, stripping of his arrangement. So God he already had it. All he had to do is what he was supposed to do with it. It would have never been taken from him. Yes, sir.
Cosmology again. We're going to see to it that the brothers get the tapes, the two that asked those different questions.
Yes, sir.
The other thing, this is kind of a quick one right here. Noticed in the news this morning they took Elion back, and then I noticed also in the supermarket I had to pay 44 cents for a lemon. Does this mean that Mr. Clinton is trying to make friends with Mr. Castro so he can start sending us oranges and lemons?
Well, let's put it this way. Everybody is going to start to get in on what this country is doing. Because the country knows it's already defeated. It's trying really now to get friends. It's been such a rascal all of its existence. And they know God is on him now. This man know God is on him. And he know who God is. He know it's me. He ain't wondering who it is. He has no doubt about it. He knows. However, what he does know, he know how God works. He know how God works. So he know how to do certain things to minimize what he received. You know, if I wasn't president, he has the technology now to do what he pleases in any country. But he know he better not do but so much. So he got to now start to pretend some things. But he's a rascal, but he's wise. My main object is to get you. Yes, sir.
I wanted you to elaborate. You made a statement. I think you said we were African, Asian. It was either you or him, one of the two.
Asiatic?
Asiatic? Right. Was it African Asiatic?
No, sir, just Asiatic.
Just Asiatic.
Now the place where we call Asia or Asiatic, Asia or East Asia is now called Africa. You know, white folks, we let them rename everything.
Okay, but I thought that I may have misunderstood that you made like Asia in reference to our mother. Did you say that? Or maybe that?
Well, if I did, I was in error. I don't recall saying
okay,
that. Did I say that?
That was my mistake. That was it. I was just trying to get some clarification on you saying that we were Asiatic.
They said we are Asiatic. You know, we come from I guess you call it the Holy Land, or over in what we call Asia at the time. Not we're Asiatic people. And now we're the new people. You know, we're not people with no geographical identity. You know, North America or the United States, in God's eyesight, don't really exist. You can't count zero. So it's like we've been made a new people. That's why they say we're the God of we're the cream of the planet. And they say nothing about North America. And we're the God of the universe. So this is us in North America, the black man here. Not in Jamaica, not in Africa, no other place but here. And it would say, well, where's the brother secretary? Was born in the north corner, or where is the north corner?
Northeast corner, yes, sir.
Northeast corner. And this is North America. Below this is South America?
Sir?
Below is South America, right?
Yes, sir.
So we're in North.
Yes, sir.
And you most certainly have been buried. And what is it? The priest tried to get him up.
Yes,
didn't know how to get you up. And since he couldn't get him up, what did Solomon tell him? Come on, boy, I'll show you how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Look at the iron script. So this is what's taking place. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. We noticed before your arrival here to Alton, Illinois, we had some baby craft. The sister, she heard it on the radio. Sister Walida, she won't speak, but
Right.
it was some baby craft there announced on the radio. The baby craft touched in Illinois. Sister, what part of Illinois? KC,
Baby
Illinois.
Plains?
Yes, sir. They announced it on the radio. And also, I had a question for you. 1990, you sure that you started teaching in 91?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. However,
Publicly.
publicly?
I was already, yes, ma'am. I started teaching publicly in 91.
Yes, sir. In 1990?
1991.
1991.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It was 1990 that I witnessed the mother craft
Yes, ma'am.
down when I was doing in Little Rock, Arkansas, when I was in a fight with the Muslim into right conduct. And it was a bad tornado. I was very, very scared. And I wanted to know, was that you helping me then with the tornadoes and the storm? What happened was it thunder and lightning and everything like that. The brothers were moving in on me. I was inside the school. And the baby planes, they came real low down in the sky
Yes, ma'am.
in Arkansas in 1990.
Right.
And so I wonder, did you know you was alive then?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, absolutely.
And was
I've
it
been knowing that ever
so
since
you were with me then?
1978. I've been knowing my identity since 1978.
Oh, 78.
Yes, ma'am. I had 13 years to build my own home before I started publicly. You know, I started dealing with the messenger and what he got set up. However, anytime, whether you are a Muslim or not, if you are responding to your nature in a truthful manner, help always comes.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've had people to tell me, they asked me the same thing as you, was it me? It wasn't me personally as a person. However, it was me in the form of power. You know, I've had people tell me that the police shot guns at them, they actually seen the bullets coming. Like you see Matrix, they step out of the way, or the bullets hit like a shield fall in front of them. And a couple of brothers said, you know, they got shot, the bullet hit them, they thought they were shot, and when they looked, the bullet was in their pants. You know, they shook their pants and fell down on the ground. So if what determines whether that type of aid comes to you is the truthfulness in which you operate in.
Oh, yes, sir.
And so it automatically happens.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask a question. My brother asked me, did I want to see the Father? I said, what you mean, see the Father? He said, you go down to Abraham, you can see the Father. And I'm up here to ask the question, okay, are you God himself?
In person.
In person?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I've been meeting quite a few Christians lately. I grew up in Baptist church. I was with the messenger in the first. I visited a church. I was invited to a church just before you came in Wichita and spoke this last time. And I'm starting to get invited more. Sir?
To speak in the church?
No, sir. They just invite me to come and visit them. Some of the invitations are they know that I'm with you, and some of the invitations are intentions to change my thinking about being with you, and then some of the invitations are just genuine. However, they find out eventually, that I'm with you, and so my question is that should I continue to accept the invitations?
Well, no, sir. It's written in the Holy Quran, which we don't use that as no law book. However, we don't accept Christians or Jews for friends. When you have a greater knowledge, although we still have a love for our people, everything is done on the basis of knowledge or truth. And this is why the statement is made, I lose my people for the lack of knowledge after it was sent to them.
You see some children, I've been some places. They work on emotions. What they are experiencing is genuine. The feeling. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have it.
However, the cause of the feeling is not genuine. It's a lie. So for you to be found with them in such a way that you cannot put an influence on them to understand what they're doing, you're defeating your purpose. You can tell them, listen, I respectfully decline. However, you can come to our meeting, or I will come and meet with you as an individual or some other people. We can have a meeting where we can have a dialogue and we can actually go through these things that you have such strong feelings about. And if you find me wrong based on knowledge or math, I will submit in your presence and come to your church. If you find that you are in error and that I am calculating this accurately, would you do the same? And then this way, that is a respectful decline, because they're going to tell you, no, that's all right. But you didn't tell them you weren't going to come. You just told them, if this takes place, if we do this, would you do so and so and so? They're not going to do it. So forget it. Listen. You sleep? No. I have a certain time that I'm going to put up with this. Then I'm going to start spanking this black man. I mean, for real. You might not see me doing it, but when I tell white folks, go get them. They don't believe me, they love you. And you love them, you love to eat them. Go eat some of them. I'm going to watch. And when the cry gets too great, maybe they'll remember me. And if they cry to me, the way that they're crying under this misery, I may answer them. It's much like this. I have a son that he comes up and jumps on my lap, pulls my ears, picks at my tooth, He just have a good time. In order for him to do that, I'm sitting still. He's in my lap, down by my toes, he's crawling back up, he's on my head, he's everywhere, but I'm sitting still. Now, when the cry comes or the time comes for me to move, and I got to attend what I got to do, I got to move, then he wants to hang on and say, son, I got to go. He still wants to hang on, I got to pry him loose gently, but the point is, I got to go. You got to stop that. I have enough power to make him release me and cause him to understand that Dad is about to do something more serious than play with me. So I better let him go. It's no different than the black man. After this certain period of time, I'm going to end this lie about Jesus. When I got to go, I got to let you know, black man, let me go. Quit holding me here trying to teach you of that you should already know. Since you refuse it, well, take this. And if you make it, I'm still going to be alive and easy to find. The only thing you have to worry about, will I answer you? That's all. That's what's going to happen. However, during that time, if you're already with me, to hell with the Christians. Because that's where they're operating in. If they haven't physically made it there, they're operating there in their thinking. They got a big cross around your neck, an emblem of what you use to kill Jesus with, the God you say. You wear it. Then you have all this love of Jesus. And you have to say, when the last time you saw Jesus? They can't tell you. When is the last time he spoke to you? Well, he spoke to me in my dream. You sure it was him? You know, Satan speaks to you too. He comes from the right side. How do you know it wasn't him? They can't answer none of those questions, none of them. However, I'm here, live, living man. I will bleed if you could make me bleed. What I'm saying, it's possible that I could. Highly unlikely from somebody else. I may hurt my own self. If you have feelings, where do you think you got them from? If God didn't have feelings, you wouldn't have none. What makes you feel bad when you're rejected? If God didn't have a feeling towards being rejected, you wouldn't have none. The only difference is I got the power to do something about it. You don't. The best you can do if your wife rejects you, go with another man, you go get a gun or something. Or you want to beat her up or stab her. I don't do that. Then you have to pay for it because what you call the man's going to get you. Then you're going to the big house. When I get upset with you, you can never point your finger at me anyway. Well, he did it. Only thing you can say, he's causing it. And if he's causing this type of misery, I'd be a fool to go to confront him. Then that power would be directed directly at me. Can I take that? I don't think so. So what I'm saying is there is an end to this. We don't just keep going on and on and on. Like I'm saying, we're multiplying. Rapidly, every day we're multiplying. You know, we're building, basically we're building a restaurant there in Cincinnati, Ohio. We had to call in the Caucasian to come in and do some work that the city said we had to get this certified and so forth. Well, no black people certified in it, so we had to call the Caucasian. He came in and started to do his work, and the city gave him so much problem. He himself had to say, never have we run up on anything like this. This is strange. The Caucasian, he just wanted to get the money. But the people running the city know who's doing this. So they want to bring it as slow as possible. If they can drain us with the money, but we can't open up the place, can't make no money to replace it. But I don't worry about that. After it gets to a certain point, I send to the white man myself. He don't see me, I just tell him. Okay then. I call the secretary, I said, what about the restaurant? What's happening there? Well, they haven't okayed it yet. I said, what is that? They said, well, that's just the way Cincinnati do things. I said, oh, really? Well, they're going to change that. He went back down. We got the permission. Put the seal on it. You see, so it may be the same people that come before me. However, all the other people that's getting the tapes, they're listening to them, they can't deny this. However, what they are missing is a personal opportunity to witness God in person and the power of Him. It's not that I feel good just having it. I don't feel good until I make sure you got it. If I got it all by myself, now I got a burden because I got to do everything. You know, if I'm the only one to know how to make the mic, I got to make all the mics because I'm the only one to know how to do it. Forget that. That's too much work. Let me help teach you so you can relieve me. You see, I'm a giver, and I don't speak in no such terms as, well, you know, if God willing, oh, I'll go pray on it. Forget that. If I got to say God willing, who is God? I'm God. You should know what the will of Allah is. You should know. Elijah was here. I've been here publicly since 1991. I think the first tape we put out, people still talking about May 30th. The wisdom of Allah, motion of Allah, May 30th, right? May 30th. Those of you that don't have the tape, get that tape. Brother on the tape asked me, he came to the mic, asked me a question. He said, what are you going to do with the pimps and the dope dealers and the people of that sort in the neighborhood that's turning down? Are you going to go after them? I said, no. We just going to show up and start doing our thing and they're going to leave. He kind of smiled like, oh, yeah, right. Is that what we did? Yes, we didn't tell neither one to get off the corner. We just told them to get off the building. Because we buying this. Get out of the parking lot doing what you're doing because we paying this. And they did. We just show up. And that's what's wrong with the minister. He don't want me to show up in your thinking, show up to him in Chicago. He don't want me to show up. Because as soon as I show up, you got to change. As soon as I show up in your face, you got to change. Because you will know now that I'm not with the man. If I'm not with Solomon, I'm not with the man. I'm with a man, but I'm not with the man. And if a man would get himself together, he could be in with the man. But the hatred won't let him. And since he's going so far with it, I don't want to let him turn it around. You're going to see what you've been loving. You've been in bed with a snake of the grafted type. That's true. One day I'm going to go into the lessons and break them down for you real rapidly. It's going to take, I guess, about a week or two to really lay it out and let you see. Those of you who have the lessons, when you have English lesson C2, that is Farad Muhammad telling you about himself. He's saying, look at me. That's why he says, you know, I came to North America by myself. You know, my uncle don't know, he don't know that I'm his nephew. He's telling you about himself. My name is my name is Farad Muhammad. He's telling you, he starts off telling you about him and what he's doing. Then at the end of it, he says, as soon as you finish this, and you know, you get approval from the secretary and you get your money, whatever it is, for every word that you've got right and understand what immediately ask for English lesson C3. Or C2 is it? English lesson C1. Then when you finish that, ask for English lesson C2. So if English lesson C1 is about a man, what is English lesson C2 be about? You see? So this one has got to be the God. So I'm come telling you that yes, I am the God. I'm in the flesh. I'm in the person. Well, why don't you just snap your fingers and make everything just go away and make it do right? It's not prophesied that way. It is never done that way. You can't point to no place where that ever happened. So I'm not breaking tradition. I have to give you an opportunity to see so that you may be saved. If I did it that way, not that I can, if I did it that way, you would never see and you'd never be with me because you wouldn't be alive. You would not be alive. I couldn't do nothing but kill you. I can't, you know, my wife, when she gave my son, beautiful son, just born. I'm going back and forth over the road. If I took him with me, it would kill him. You get the message? If I took him with me, he'd suffer chest pneumonia and die. He just born. But it's my son. So when I just take him with me, it's my son. No, you don't do that. Same thing with you all. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. I had some more questions, at least 3 more.
Yes, sir.
I want to allow the brother to ask his.
Your choice.
May I ask one more?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Is there more than, are there any more sons in the other
No, sir.
universes?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
There are no more suns in the universe like this one. There are stars, bodies of light, but they're not suns. This one, the reason why it's called suns, because the most powerful thing that it does, you heard the term the sons of God?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what comes from the sun. You. And you come as a son. You're your father's son. You come from the sun. Something for you to think about.
Yes, sir.
No other place in the universe does that. There's no other place where you pass. Go to a particular place that is controlling other planets and whatnot, and then when you or dispatch, you go back to another place in the universe does that. This is the only solar system that does that.
Yes, sir.
All other planets that give out light, they may give out light, and that's it. The sun gives out light, heat, and light.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this boring? Well, don't forget it. And make sure you all come back tomorrow, especially the ones that are with me. Make sure you come back tomorrow. I have something special for you all. It will help you if you digest it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Why was the internet? Why was the internet allowed to be made?
Oh, one of the main reasons why it was allowed. Yes, sir. Thanks for coming. One of the reasons why, if you can't get the tape, somebody bring it to you later on during the week or whatever, okay, you got everything covered. It's written in the lessons that when this one did come to relieve us, he found us in a cave, walking back and forth, called a lion in a cave. And he was working at one speed, and when this one showed up, we started operating at a different speed. We started using modern equipment. It's not really necessary for a whole lot of people to come before me. However, it is necessary that you hear this. So, using modern equipment, we use the radio, the TV, and what is most common is the internet. So when they start doing this, they can sit home and argue with it, don't like it, they can act a fool, which they do. But nobody never comes back and says wrong. So they're being taught against what they would will not to be. What makes them angry is to find out that they're wrong. I've been wrong all this time? Damn. Why didn't he shut up? If he never said it, I wouldn't have known it. Now what do I do? I can't get this knowledge no other kind of way. That's what they think. However, that's and this is another way to show you that the knowledge has reached its zenith as far as white folks is concerned. Look at all the problems you get from it. I don't know if you want it or not. You can't trust a computer. It's a mess. But he's going out in space with it. You know, things got to be thought out so detailed, he don't trust his own thinking. So he got to put it in this machine, and sometimes the machine mess up. So he's still operating on happenstance, or luck, or maybe, or belief. However, we're using it as far as being modern equipment. It makes the awakening up of our people much more rapid.
Yes, sir. That's another question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. When a body is, or as far as the entities in the tribes, does a body have to be produced a certain way to facilitate a certain entity?
Yes, sir. If it is of any importance, it isn't just left alone for just to be anybody. You know, this is why white folks has found this out. They call it husbandry. You know, if they're going to have something thoroughbred or whatnot, even a dog, they make sure they get the right kind of dog to make, to produce what they want. They got it from us. To make sure that we produce a body for that particular entity, we make sure that the man and the female is matched up together. They don't even have to get married. I'm not saying go do that, I'm just answering the question. And the Bible witness to the proof of the truth. Was Mary and Joseph married? And what did they say? We sent to Mary our spirit in the form of a well-made man. He didn't marry her. But to produce Jesus, those two combinations had to be together for that entity. Joseph was already married. He had 6 children. His wife didn't know he went to see Mary. In other words, answering your question. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So, thank you.
Yes, sir, that it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I got one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
And it just really, I couldn't sit in my seat. Tomorrow is the big day, what they call Easter.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody's getting all dressed up and all pretty. And I would like, the brother say his father was a preacher, but I would like for you to share the meaning of pulpit.
Pulpit. This is because of what is being taught concerning the supreme being, or that really is in total opposition. So it's like a pit that he's teaching from, and he's pulling the people in it. So it's called pulpit. I mean, I can't explain no simpler than that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. When it was, I don't know if that my husband shared, Brother Robert, but it said it pulled people in the pits of hell.
Yes, ma'am. Well, everything is done from thought first.
Oh, yes, sir.
If they can get you to agree with the theology that they're putting to you in the form of God, and it's wrong, you know, it's the flavor and the rhythm of hell, that's exactly where you're being pulled to. You know, just the word pull pit, it means that you're being pulled in a pit. And a pit is nothing, it's never elevated, it's always low. Now, the ultimate place of the pit is hell. However, hell isn't a place per se. It's a condition.
Yes, sir.
So you up walking around, but you're actually in hell. You've been pulled in a pit.
Yes, sir.
And a pit has dimensions to it. You know, it has areas, it has a dimension. It don't mean it's just anywhere. It has dimensions. And this place here, 2,000 or 3,000, the head of this is the head of the activity. The head of it is the Pope of Rome. He's not here, however. The one that is actually doing this worldwide with power is the beast. So this is really the pit, North America.
Yes, sir. Okay, I have another question. This pertains to the 144.
Yes, ma'am.
The people that were with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they had got their ex.
Right.
And I was dressing one of those brothers, and I shared with him. He wrote his ex. I mean, he wrote and got his letter and got his ex with the messenger. And I asked him, and I said, well, he's with W.D. Muhammad, and I asked him, did he not believe in what he did was the right thing, and that the messenger was the messenger at that time when he signed and wrote his letter? And he shared that it was falsified. The letter was falsified. Yes, sir. I just wanted to share that.
You mean that somebody else wrote it for him? or he's saying that the letter itself really wasn't from no God.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Something that's false or whatnot. So
yes, sir.
Well, let's say Wallace.
Yes, sir.
When he find out what's coming, he gonna wish he had just time to write it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. answered your questions. You've gotten something from this. Yes, sir. You can finish. You know, and it's beyond criminal. I'm not comprehending. Okay. You know, the order of the day is so wicked that the general belief of everybody is like, this can't be true. That this, what I'm doing, cannot be true. You know, it's got to be a trick in it somewhere, and they're going to get tricked again. However, everybody that you see, I would ask you to warn them again. And if the brothers that are from the nation that's here, I would strongly suggest, you're not doing anything to me, but you are absolutely robbing yourself. And you're doing it in the name of somebody else. If you can rob yourself, do it in your own name. You know, each person has their own, they have a God-given right to have a personal relationship with the God. You don't need no intercessor. The intercessor was Elijah. After that, you don't need no intercessor. The messenger said, when we were praying, if you pray and don't mention my name, Elijah, Allah won't hear your prayer. He didn't say if you don't mention Elijah and Lewis. If you don't mention my name. However, when God does come, he will tell you what to do, and he'll bring you into a new reality of Islam. He's not going to go with the same thing that the messenger did. That's a message, like the mailman brought the letter, he's gone. Now you got to do what was in the letter, or get rid of it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. In Revelations 1:14, hair like wool, feet like burnt brass. Who is that description of?
That's a description of the black man. In other words, the man that has always been in control, whether we saw it that way or not. This is the way that he looks. You know, and at that particular time, it was somewhat describing the man that's in Africa. Not us. However, as a people, it's us. Because now us, as being new, we don't necessarily have kinky hair. We are black. And our eyes aren't necessarily red. We're new. But what it's saying is the black man has been God, always is, and always shall be God. It's impossible for anybody else to be. So he's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. If there shall be an end, it's going to be him. So that's all it's really saying. It's describing who God is, not one particular person. Because if God described the one person that is God, the way he would come back, he would describe the person as me, and I really am described in the Bible and in the book. In the Quran, it talks about Solomon had all this knowledge. He didn't have to answer to nobody. He's telling you this. Solomon is God. In the Bible, it says that Solomon went up and took the book. He looked like he was slain from the foundation of the earth. I look slain from the foundation of the earth. I don't have my teeth. That's the foundation of the body. The body represents the earth. We're the live, living vegetation of what the earth produces in an intelligent form. When you look at me, it looks like I've been slain from that part. But I got the book. I took it. So it's telling you, it's pointing out, but you have to have knowledge to know what's really being said. Everybody's so happy going to look for God that they never expect to find him. So when they say, well, here he is, oh, no. You know, they always say that chase is better than the captured. Yes, sir, is that it?
Yes, sir, one more, Father. You have shared that Iowa means I-O-U-double?
Yes, sir.
I-O-U-W? W?
I-O-U-W.
Yes, sir. Will you share what's taking place with Iowa right now in respect to what you're doing to it?
Yes, sir. Well, we're placing in the government certain things to make sure certain things take place. I don't want to go and name too many things because they'll try to put up some kind of defense for it. Because they listen at these tapes. And you're like, you may think, well, that's just in speaking, and we get the tape. That's not so. White folks listen at these tapes, I'm telling you. And if you don't think so, you start listening. You start hearing my language and and Minister Lewis listened to him. You know, he don't start coming out with certain things that I say. You know, they listen. Well, what's happening? We started setting it up. You're not going to see nothing drastic right away. The most frightening thing is for a person to become comfortable. And then suddenly, they can't do nothing about it. It's coming gradually, but on certain spots, it's suddenly. Like it's talking about when God comes to his temple, he's coming to his temple suddenly. Well, the ones that love the minister so much, they just absolutely know emphatically that I will never be there. Then when I show up, it's like, well, and where he come from? They're going to be so upset. Some of them is going to be like, I'm having a dream. This ain't real. To them, it's suddenly. But I've been telling them ever since 1991. 90 told him, I'm on the way. Matter of fact, I told him in 1978. I said, well, we're going to be together. I'll let you know when. And when we do, if you will do more than me, I have to be with you for a while. If I'm doing more than you, you got to be with me for a while. 1978, I told him this. 1990, went back and reminded him. I'm on the way. So it's inevitable. I shall arrive. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. One quick statement, Father. I want to thank you for teaching me through the messenger, and now by you being here in your own person. I want to thank you for teaching me how to be for real, because I didn't know how to do that before.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Father.
More than welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, Father. I was raised in Christianity for 33 years. And I come from a family of preachers, ministers, evangelists, and deacons, as they call themselves. However, I studied us as a people away as well as here. And when it was shared with me about you, I gravitated to the knowledge right away. And as I share with the preachers back in the city of Chicago, I've noticed that they don't see themselves or see us as a people nowhere in biblical prophecy. And why is that?
No, they're laboring under what white folks taught them. You know, white folks made niggas, and they see themselves as a nigga, and nigga ain't nothing. Let alone God to have some interest in you. Oh, no. You ain't nothing. You know, and then that's the way they are. That's the way they're making their money, on a lie. So they don't want to see it. But don't worry about that. Believe me, don't worry about that. It's already prophesied that the preacher will be the last one. But at least he's on the list. He's like England. He's on the list. He's just going to be last. Don't worry about what they believe. Don't even think about that. If you talk with them, always speak the truth. If they don't believe you, say, well, I understand. Keep living, you will. You will know. I'm serious. I really, for real, I'm serious. Because I laugh, I talk, I talk with y'all, I do things that, like ordinary people do, so to say. I'm still making a lot of things happen. I'm dead serious. I'm saying this is why, I think about who I please. It's never in a negative way, it's the truth. Some people know the truth about you, but they're so afraid of you, they're not going to say nothing. But they're afraid of you retaliating against them. Maybe you got a contract with them and they're going to cut the contract off. I ain't got no contract. That's why I don't have no partner. I don't have no contract, so I say what is right. If you don't like it, you got to say it. You see? So, and you can do the same thing. If you're with me, and especially if somebody is talking about me or the system of me or God, it is always the man that has the most knowledge that has the right to speak. The only way that you shouldn't speak, if you come upon a group of people that is at peace in their foolishness, and they really at peace, and you don't have time to really instruct them on where they're going wrong, leave them alone. Because if you go and do something like that, then you become the peace breaker. And then you can't stay there long enough to bring peace back. So you just laugh at them, going, even if you got 2 or 3 minutes and there ain't enough time, you sit down and joke with them if you want to, then leave. But everyone there is wrong. So you don't have to worry about it. Don't have no fear, nobody in your family, forget that. Your family is the family of the righteous. All the rest of them belong to Satan. And until they make the choice to give up Satan, the only thing you can do is be an example. That's all you can be.
Yes, sir. I'd also like to thank you for the ordeals you've gotten me through with Satan as well as the devils that are out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum again, Father.
Yes, sir.
I got 2 quick questions, and nobody's asked this one, so I'm going to have to ask you. What does Alton mean, the name of the city? Alton.
Alton?
Yes, sir.
Well, it would be something like a turning point. The name means that turning point. And matter of fact, I was speaking with my wife this morning, I think. I don't know if she heard me. Like I made a statement, I haven't, I'm going to speak tomorrow too. When I first got started, that's what I used to do. I think you know about that. I always had 2 meetings. I never had no 1 meeting. I always had 2 meetings. Always. I stopped that. It's been for years now I stopped that. Come here in Alton. Started off again. 2 meetings. I don't know how long it's going to go, but, like it was in the beginning, come right back again. So, however, when I first started, I didn't have anything but just knowledge. Now I'm coming back starting again. I got everything.
Yes, sir. Now, this second question is from where Sister Sharon and I are, and a few of our guests here. And this is, what does Springfield mean? That's the home of President Lincoln, the
Yes,
Klan,
sir.
and also the NAACP.
Yes, sir. Springfield, Illinois. Springfield, since you all are the only ones that's there, as a matter of fact, since Brother was Adrian, I think you're the only one that's in Illinois that's with me, right? Chicago's in Illinois. We have other people that know about me. They write on the net when however, as far as being right with me, that they recognize me publicly and I recognize them. You and your wife are the only other ones that I know. And being a Springfield, just by the name or whatnot, this is something that when you spring, you don't never spring down. Either out or up. You see what I'm saying? So it seems to be that you from the ordering that you're doing, the baked goods and different things that we're doing, and the charities that you're all sending and whatnot, it seems to be increasing, so you must be doing something right. So to people, and I know personally, if they come in contact with you, if they speak with you a good 5 or 10 minutes, they're going to be elevated.
Thank you. That's what I'm like.
Walaikum salam. All right, well, we're supposed to be vacated out of here at 5 o'clock. Don't run up, those of you that know what we got, go look at it again. Do like I do my wife. I look, I say, you're still pretty. Go look at it again. And if you need something, purchase it. If you don't need it now, put an order in for it. We got a trucking system that goes around and deliver our things. We got a big truck. We go once in a while with that because there's not enough orders to fill it up. However, we got the system in place and it's operating. I want to get something set up before winter comes. I hope you listen. Before winter comes, I want to get it set up where we got a bus route that goes continuously from heaven back to the East Coast. We're going to be stopping in Cincinnati. You can eat there. We got a couple homes that be like an inn. You can stay over, go to the restaurant to eat, get back on the bus and take off again. It's yours. You don't have to worry about getting there. And the more of you that get out of these jobs in the way that you have it, the more you'll be able to participate in what's yours. If you're working with us full time, well, I won't get in. I got something for you tomorrow. All right? We'll do that. Who's coming up? All right. I'm going to leave you all. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm turning it over to Sister National Secretary. She will read to you things that you don't want to, that you need to hear. Assalamu alaikum.